In art, there are three basic building blocks that can be used to make almost any image. These three are shapes, values, and edges. In this video, we're going to be talking about shapes. Now, I've got an image from one of the games that I've been working on called Grainmore, and this image is probably one of the pixel art images that I'm more proud of. I really like the way this turned out. But let's take a look at some of the shapes that appear in this griffin or type monster here. I'm not sure exactly what kind of a creature it is, but we're going to be only using the circle shape and the rectangle shape. So I'm going to zoom in a bit. And we should be able to actually move so we can get this centered a little bit better there. Okay. Now let's look at the basic shapes that make up this creature right here, and it will give you an idea of how you can use basic shapes to and then kind of modify them a bit to create more complex shapes. So we've got a circle right there for the head, and for the body back here, it's basically a square. And then if we get our line tool, you can see that the back end right here is kind of like a triangle. And the beak right here is also kind of like a triangle. And we've got the legs. These feet are almost like squares or rectangles right here. The other thing's a rectangle too. This is just kind of like its own little rectangle turned at an angle like that. Same right with this one. These back legs definitely are kind of like rectangles. You can see that all the way down them. Just rectangles put together to make look like a leg. So you can see how simple this is. Our wing here is just like, I don't know, the wing's kind of a different shape. It's kind of got a square or rectangle right here with a triangle on the end of it. If you can see that, like that wing. And then we've got maybe a rectangle right here for where the wing attaches onto the body. And then back here we've got, I don't know, this is kind of like two triangles put together right here to make that back wing. Three if you count that back there maybe. So this is all made up of basic shapes, and you can see that pretty easily here. And every single image is made up of basic shapes, and we're going to be using this technique when we're creating some of our characters and stuff as we move on. We're going to create basic shapes, and then where you go from here is you usually tend to carve these basic shapes a little bit. Carve those edges off of these right here. Smooth the edges out a little bit. Carve this off here, carve this off here, and we start to create a more complex shape from those basic shapes. But for now, that's a basic overview of how you can see the different shapes inside of an image, and in the next lecture we will cover the value section of our three building blocks.